You're good? Okay. So if you lose these or just need another copy or whatever, we're going to be sending these out in email and also putting it on our website. So if you need to get them or need them for someone else or whatever, you can get them there. So we're going to talk about the first thing, which is prom. Prom is going to be in Marauder Stadium on Thursday, May 27th this year. All of the information about prom is in this packet right here, okay? This talks about the fact that we are gonna have 250 tickets available to students. Seniors are going to get first crack at buying these tickets, and that'll be May 3rd through 7th during SEL, lunch, or after school, or before school if for whatever reason you're not here and don't have an SEL. Okay. Tickets are going to be $55. It is going to be set up very similar to a hall. It's just going to be outside. There's going to be tents and lights and heaters and dancing and all sorts of things. We will, with this, have students have mandatory testing. So what that means is that we will have rapid testing on Wednesday, so you have to have a negative rapid test or be 2 weeks from your second dose of the COVID vaccine by the time that prom happens. If you guys are joining us, just come on in and have a seat, please. So does that make sense, right? Those are the two things. The only other thing that would, and we would be the people who, so administration will be the ones who provide that exemption for you from testing. So you would just need to bring your vaccine card, or if you have recently tested positive, obviously we would not want to put you through testing over and over and over. So please just come see us if you've got your own circumstance for that. Prom's going to be from 6 until 11 p.m. Masks are required at all times except for when you are eating, seated and eating. And those are the rules that are given to us by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Consent forms?
Yeah, so we've got consent forms for you for testing. And you guys that were here this morning might want to hear this. We've got a consent form for you for testing that'll need to be signed by your parent or guardian or yourself if you're 18 or over, okay? We're going to be sending those via email, but we also have given them to all the English 12 teachers. So your English 12 teacher is going to pass out those consent forms. That form needs to be returned signed so that you can get tested prior to prom. Okay, so you can be at prom. Again, if you got your COVID, you're 2 weeks out of your COVID vaccine, you need to bring that proof to Ms. Schultz or myself so we can exempt you from the testing. Okay?
All right, so those are, so if you feel like you have a special circumstance, we don't have to talk about it right now, but if you do have a special circumstance, please make sure that you come and talk to us. We'd be happy to work through all of that with you. We are really excited to be able to have an event where there's dancing and we're able to bring the senior class together. But you know, we do want to make sure that we're doing it as safely as possible, which is why we're holding it outdoors and why we are enforcing testing. With that, with the 250 tickets, there are 231 seniors in the senior class. The remaining tickets, whatever is not sold to seniors, so whether that's 200 tickets that are sold to seniors or all 231 or 150 or whatever, those tickets will go to the rest, so those will go for dates. So for instance, if you want to bring somebody from another school or an underclassman or whatever, you are going to put in for what we're going to call the lottery, which basically just lets the class sponsors know, hey, I want to bring somebody who's not in the senior class, please consider me for that additional ticket. It's going to be important to note that when you do purchase your own ticket as a senior, that's a ticket that you've purchased, so you do need to know that and consider that regardless of whether you've won the lottery or win the lottery. We almost never have every single person buy a prom ticket, and I don't anticipate that will happen this year, so I don't think there's going to just be 19 tickets available, but that is how it's going to work. We are going to cap it at 250. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Just to clarify, you sign up for the lottery. If you win the lottery, then you buy the extra ticket. You don't have to buy the ticket in hopes that you get to use it.
Yeah.
You buy it after you've won the lottery.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you for clarifying. Okay, any questions on prom? Got it? Question? No, okay, all right. There is a prom contract that's on here. It just talks about you abiding by the rules. It's very normal to have a prom contract. The only thing that's added is, hey, I'm gonna wear a mask because I know it's required. Okay? All right, senior honors night.
Senior Honors Night is next Thursday, May 6th, right here in the auditorium at 6 o'clock. It is invite only. I think I invited 120 seniors. This is kind of a formal event. We will be giving out academic letter, DCTC awards, scholarships. So some of our community members come in and sometimes they're handing out scholarships for like $500 or $1,000. So you should be dressed appropriately to be going up on stage to get something. The event, like we have an MC, Mr. Harris will come and he'll announce all of our presenters, and if you get awards, you'll go up and you'll get your awards. We also give out department awards, and that's all I can think.
Top 10.
Yep, top 10.
And if you, so that is going to be senior invite only, parents, family, friends, whomever wants to watch that, that will be a live stream for those who want to watch. And then decision day?
So decision day will be the following day on Friday, May 7th at 12:30 here in the auditorium. You should have had the opportunity last week in your English class to fill out a Google form letting me know what your plans are after high school. So whether that's college, trades, a branch of the service, or the workforce. You should have also had on that form the opportunity to request a t-shirt size. So just so you know, I did order extra t-shirts too. The idea is I'll pass them out to you sometime next week and you can wear them on Friday to decision day. If for some reason you did not fill out that Google form in your English class, you can still send me an email, let me know what your plan after high school is, and let me know what your t-shirt size is because I do have extras for you, okay? So on that Friday, we'll come down here to the auditorium. We'll be seated by our post-secondary plan, so whatever you kind of filled out in that form. And the idea is we'll come up on stage, walk by, celebrate what your decision is, grab a goodie bag, and come and sit back down. So that'll kind of be how decision day will work that day.
Okay, thank you. All right, good stuff. We're on number 3. So the last day for all seniors is May 21st. That's your last full day of school. So it's really quickly coming up. And then final exams, if that's something that you have to take, is May 24th and 25th. So that following Monday, Tuesday, in the hours that you have that day. The senior option still exists, so that means that you do not have to take a final exam if you have an 83 in class. Okay, so B or better, and less than 3 or less absences. Obviously, absences related to COVID don't count towards those 3: medical, funeral, court, school related. So essentially, if somebody besides you said you can't be in school, then we don't count that against you. All right? If you were like, I'm not feeling it, I'm not coming, or for whatever reason, one of those things don't apply, that's what counts towards your 3. Okay? Senior exit forms. This you're going to want to look at. So it's the pink form.
Okay, we're going to look at the pink form first. One of the sides says senior exit form. This is going to be super important for graduation because we can't put you in graduation until we know that you're graduating and that you passed your classes. So this form, it's due Friday, May 25th, so kind of at the end of your exam week. You're going to write down all the courses that you're taking, the 6 courses, and every one of your teachers will need to sign if you are passing or failing that class. So it's good to plan ahead on this, but you can't get too far ahead because your teacher probably won't sign off until the end of your class to say whether you're passing or failing. You also need to check in with Mr. Pihoti. He needs to sign off to say whether you have library fines or books that you didn't return. You need to check in with Mr. Begeman about Chromebook fines. He's going to sign off on this too. And when you're done with it, you're going to bring it to counseling and give it to your counselor. And the reason you got to do that is because what if you're failing something? We need to know right away. You know, we need to pull up your records right away, see if you can still graduate, see what we need to do. So this will go directly to your counselor. On the back is a scholarship tally. Every year for our records, we like to know what scholarships our seniors have received. So you're just going to list your scholarships. Maybe you got something local, maybe you got something from your college. Maybe 2 or 3 different colleges offered you something and you can write down what they offered you. And then at graduation, usually Mrs. Conway will like announce, you know, this graduating class got $3 million or something like that in scholarships. So this kind of helps us with our record keeping, and it helps us know a little bit on how to advise students and what colleges are doing right now. So, do you have any questions about this form?
Mrs. Palazzolo, do you want to tell them about not shying away from the form?
So every year we do get some seniors who do shy away from the pink form because they know their grades are not the best. The best advice I can give you is talk to your teachers this week. If you know you're failing, talk to them. I promise you they want to see you graduate too. And if you can do something about it, you have a month still to get those grades up to passing. The worst idea ever is to assume things might get better waiting until that week of, and then all of a sudden you find out you're going to fail, and then you have no time really to make up anything. So just do it. Ask your teachers if you know you're failing, you know who you are. The other big thing with this too is if you do fail, I don't want you to think that's it, it's the end of the road. Ms. Walters, Ms. Trush, and I want to see our students graduate. We want to see you cross that stage. So we will do whatever we can to find a way to get you to earn that credit, but it's going to be a lot more work and stress on you. And the worst conversation ever I have ever had to have with a parent is, yeah, your kid did all this work, and it's the day of graduation and they're still not going to graduate because they just ran out of time. So time is really what is going to kill you here. So if you guys can take action, do it now, that'll be better than anything. Also in regards to time, I know some people still haven't applied to college. It's been one of those weird years. We haven't had as many one-on-one conversations. So if you're one of my kiddos or one of their kiddos that hasn't applied yet, there's still time to enroll in college. Michigan is great about having ongoing enrollment. So if you need help, make an appointment with one of us and we'll help you out with that. Yeah, that's it.
If you are in a college class, if you're enrolled in a dual enrollment class or an online class, those dual enrollment classes should be finishing up well before these forms are due. So you just have to share with your counselor what that says. So you should have some kind of report out showing that. And then if you're in an online class with Mrs. Bechtal, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that or no.
Basically, if you have an online class, you have to have it completely finished before I can sign it, because even though it shows a grade, it's not always like a true grade. There may be like an exam that is worth more points than I see, and so until the class is completely done, I can't really sign it because it can make a big difference, especially if your grade is lower.
And if you're in an out-of-building voc, definitely have them sign it way before then, because I've had kids that have to go back to their voc building to try to get a signature. So you have more than enough time to get all the signatures you need. Cool.
When are these pink forms due, you guys? When are they due?
25th.
Thank you. Yes, May 25th. That's okay. May 25th. For those of you following along, it's May 25th. Those are due before you leave. However, could you turn them in May 21st? Yes, you could turn them in May 21st if you don't have to. The point is that that's the drop dead. Otherwise, they're going to chase you down to get them from you. Okay.
One of the last things you need to do too, as another handout, is to order your final transcript, right? So whatever your final decision is on that plan after graduation, whatever college you decide on, maybe your recruiter needs proof you graduate, your union, your employer, you'll need to request a copy of your final transcript. In the fall, when we were applying, we used parchment.com, created an account, and that's how we electronically sent our transcripts to where we were applying. We're going to use parchment.com again at the end of the year to request your final transcript. Parchment did get an update, so it looks a little bit different, but I put some really good screenshots on here for you guys too, and if you happen to lose this, I'll upload it into the Senior Schoology group too. But basically, if you flip it to the back, under number 4, this is the big piece of it. Your transcript is not going to be ready for you on May 25th. That is your last day. We still have to process grades. So this can be completed anytime starting now. You can log into Parchment, log into your account, select which school you want your final transcript to be sent to, or you can select yourself too, so you get a copy. And from there, you're going to select an option that's hold for grades. And what hold for grades means is it will sit kind of out in Parchment until after we process those final grades, because we want your final grades on there. And then we also indicate on your transcript that you graduated with a diploma. So that's what's important, and that's what your next step will be looking for. So make sure you take care of this. You can do this now because you're just going to select the hold for grades options, but it is out there for you, so make sure you do this. If you're looking to maybe do this during the summer, you're still going to use parchment.com anytime you need to request that transcript sent somewhere. So this will kind of be your lifeline for that. Okay?
You guys good? You've had a lot of information, just checking in. You good? Yes? Give me like a head nod of something. You guys okay? You good? Yeah? Yep. You're good? Okay. All right. Okay, we're on the very last part. When's graduation? Not you, Miss Walters. When's graduation? June 4th, right? June 4th is graduation. I hope that you are all there. Okay, we want to see as many of you there. It's going to be in our stadium. But before we do graduation, we have our senior breakfast, which is just kind of the last time before graduation for you guys to informally get together, have some breakfast. It'll be outside. And then right after that, we will rehearse. And the reason that we rehearse is so that the very first time that you do this formal ceremony of graduation is not actually the very first time, right? That you know what to expect. The ceremony for graduation is typically around an hour, does not take very long, and actually goes pretty quickly. But still, there are some things that you have to watch out for. So if you plan to participate in graduation, you need to talk to your employer and make sure that they know that you can't work that morning because you are expected to be here. After that, we will distribute your cap and gown. That's when you get your cap and gown, is that day. And that's when you also pay any outstanding fines. So we don't hand out your cap and gown until those things are paid. It's important to check now. So checking with Mr. Pahodi, checking with Mr. Begeman, especially as you turn in that Chromebook and all sorts of things, just making sure that you have taken care of any of those things that are here that are like, here's $2 you forgot to turn in To Kill a Mockingbird or whatever it is, okay? It is absolutely fine if you have a textbook to just turn the textbook in. Okay, our goal is really to make sure that we get the materials back, not that we have to replace them. All right? Okay, dress for graduation. So we're on the very last part. Guys, dress pants, dress shoes, polo, and a collared shirt. You don't have to wear a tie. Some people choose to, but that is the dress for graduation. Okay? Ladies, your gown is white, so you can see through that a little bit. We don't advise wearing a dark colored dress. Okay, but typically it's a dress, a skirt. Sometimes, sometimes people choose to wear pants, that's fine too, okay? But the point is that for graduation, because it is a formal ceremony, we do dress up for that. I do want to caution you to be aware of your footwear choice, okay? You are walking on turf. It's not always the most stable thing, and if you choose to wear heels, I think every year we have somebody who's like, that's not real, it's not going to happen to me, and every year we have somebody who just kind of does this, right? So just know that it can be a long walk across the field, especially if you're in shaky heels. So make sure that you're choosing wisely. There's lots of cute shoes that you can wear that are not going to make you tumble. Obviously your cap and gown, and then we will be purchasing masks for you guys because we do have to wear masks. So we are going to be purchasing masks. We want to make sure that that's what you wear at graduation, so just to make a more uniform, complete look. Okay, graduation does start at 6:30 p.m. We are going to, because of the requirements that they have given us for how many people we can put in the stadium, we are going to give you a minimum of 3 tickets with an option to ask for a 4th. We will be live streaming it, and if that 4th ticket is something you need, I'm going to be sending out a link so that you can request that 4th ticket. And again, that's largely due to what they've given us as restrictions for what we may have in the stadium. Okay. Masks are required for anybody who attends, and again, we are going to live stream that. Graduates, you need to arrive in the Memorial Building, which is just where the gym is, at 5:45. The reason is that we have to line you up, and it's not just like, hey, go ahead and get in line. We actually do put you in alpha order, so it does take us a minute to get that many students in line. Our graduation ceremony is only going to be outdoors, and that's because we do want to include families. And when we go indoors, the crowd that we're able to have significantly reduces. So for that reason, if there is inclement weather on June 4th, we will delay that ceremony up to 2 hours before we postpone it until the very next day at 10 a.m. Does that make sense? We're going to try to hold it on June 4th. And if for whatever reason it's just pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring or whatever, that we can't do it, we'll move it to the very next day at 10 a.m. Caps are allowed to be decorated as long as they are appropriate. Obviously, there's lots of funny people in the class of 2021. I think there's a way to be funny and be appropriate. Everybody has done a fantastic job with it every year since we started, and I don't anticipate this year will be any different. We don't have additional caps, so if you've got a question about what you'd like to put on your cap, you can certainly ask anybody and we'll give you some feedback. It isn't a sporting event, so graduation is not a sporting event. We do try to keep it moving, and so if we announce a student's name and everybody starts screaming over that student's name, then the next student's name isn't heard. And so that's why we ask for people to be respectful as we're reading names. And then finally, the piece of paper that you want, which is your diploma, actually isn't in the cover that you get at graduation. That's actually at the concession stand on the visitor side. So after the ceremony, you're going to want to make sure you pick up that diploma. If for whatever reason the graduation ceremony isn't in the cards for you, you don't want to attend it, or whatever, it doesn't work out, you still can get your diploma just by picking that up. And that's it. So are there any questions? Any questions about prom, graduation, last day, exit forms, anything?